Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Primal Series Gladiator Ahaw Kinn. This is, of course, from the upcoming Gladiator wave, a wave that I'm really excited about. There's some new stuff going on here. There's some new parts. There's some new weapons. The paint is... How do I say this? The paint on the first couple waves was good. The paint on this wave is absolutely blowing those waves out of the water. So I'm very excited about these figures. And I am very excited about this figure in particular because I personally love jaguars. I love leopards. I love the spotted cats. And so I'm just very excited to get this guy in the collection, this species in the collection as well. And so let's get into it. First of all, we will look at the packaging. So this is the updated packaging, and it is updated in a few ways. The original packaging, this sort of white color was just white. But if I get nice and tight there, you can see that there's some pattern in the white there. The logos and things have been cleaned up, tidied up. There's a little bit more there. They look a little more professional. I was okay with the other ones because I'm going to open everything anyway, but this packaging looks a little bit better, I think. There was some of that pattern on this side before, but it doesn't really lose anything by not having that. On the back, we get a nice big shot of Ahaw Kinn and a bio for him as well. The names of all the creators, everybody sort of involved in the project there as well, and some little blurbs. Heat them up if you're gonna do part swaps and things like that. Heat them up. Art on the side as well, so that's pretty cool. The packaging is fairly basic. It is not really what you're here for if you're buying Animal Wars of the Kingdom, I don't think. You may be an inbox collector, and if that's the case, I think these look a little bit nicer inboxed than the previous waves did. But really, it's about what's inside the box. So let's take a look at the figure out of the box. All right, so when I opened Pale and Atreyu, I had noted there was no orange bags. And if you know about the orange bags, you know. However, good news, the orange bags are still in play. All right, so first impressions of this figure, he does not disappoint whatsoever. This figure looks fantastic. The spots, the metallic paint, the armor, everything about it looks fantastic. The new sculpted pieces, so this new head and this new sort of fur collar neck piece is phenomenal. The spots are fantastic. Like you can see there's spots, on the thigh, spots on the stomach, spots on the chest, spots on the neck, spots on the head, spots on the back, spots everywhere. The paint looks phenomenal. This metallic blue is beautiful, very striking. And then you get some copper on there as well. Now, I will point this out, in the spirit of full transparency, there's a little bit of an issue on this figure as far as some of the paint goes, and I will show you what I'm talking about. And I don't know if this is because this is sort of pre-production, first off the line or not, but there's a little bit of rub of the copper, specifically the copper, that seems to be rubbing off a little bit on the figure, which doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm not super picky, but just something to note. Now, I also wanted to show you that the arm gets a nice sort of gradient paint. So if you don't want to have the wrist armor, the wrist gauntlets, you could certainly run this guy without, and he's got a really cool paint scheme there, which looks phenomenal. And I'm really excited about this guy. I'm not worried about this paint rub. I'm going to get more of these. I need more Jaguars. I need one for the Horde. I need one for Feralist. So, getting 2 or 3 or 4 of these is always been the plan. So this one, with a little bit of paint on there, I'm okay with that because he's probably going to stay in this armor the whole time and you can't really see it with the armor on. I only noticed it because I took that hand out to check the paint on the wrist. Hopefully future ones don't have that, but as I said, not a big issue for me, just something to note. Articulation is exactly what we've grown to know and love from Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, so I won't really go through too much of that. I will note that the head is on a ball joint. It won't look up as much as other things, and that's because just the way this is sculpted. Now it's on a barbell, so it can look down decently well. So there is a decent amount of motion in there, and you're definitely going to get, the left to right isn't an issue at all, and he can look up and he can look down. It's just not as much range of motion as we saw in the first couple waves. But you know what? Given how cool this sculpt is, and sort of given, what the plans are for future waves, I'm okay with that. I don't mind so much. I haven't taken the time to try to pop it off, but I suspect that this piece would pop off as well. And if that's the case, then you'll get, the normal articulation. I think just by nature of this piece being sort of thick and sort of filling out that gap in the neck behind the head, I think that's just what you're going to get from articulation from this. But as I said, it really does not deter from the overall articulation, and it certainly doesn't deter from the figure overall. Now, I will mention this as well. This figure, as cool as it is, that's not the only new parts that we get. We've got some new weapons, so let's take a look at the accessories. First up, extra fists. Now, these ones came in that orange bag, so we get a set of fists. We get a set of the wider gripping hands that will grip, wine bottles, beer cans, other sort of, 1/12 scaled random things that you may want your action figures to have and hold. Then the new accessories, the new weapons. So we get a new spear, and the spear remains 2 pieces, which is cool because that means we can have sort of different combinations. It is still keyed. So there is a sort of round peg, and then a not round, lower part of the peg. So that is going to slot right in to the bottom of the spear tip, and that way, it doesn't move around. It's not gonna shift. But again, we get this beautiful metallic blue paint on the blade, gold through the spear, and a matte blue for the grip. This thing looks phenomenal. I love the new sort of aesthetic that it's got with it. But speaking of new aesthetic, we've got this really, really cool Mayan or Incan or, Mesoamerican club, staff, hammer, sword. I don't even know what to call it, but it's awesome. Tip to tail, there's tons of detail. So the wood part has wood grain, and that's etched in. That's not painted on. That's actually sculpted in. I saw the prototype of this at Joe Fest, and you could see that sort of wood grain to it. And then we get some art on there. You get this really, really cool jaguar head, again done in that beautiful metallic blue paint, a wrapped handle, and more metallic blue at the base there. I'm really, really digging the sort of inlaid stone pieces that look like shaped onyx or something like that. They're done in a nice gloss, so you get a real cool contrast between sort of the matte of the wood and the gloss of the stone there. Just a really, really cool, very unique weapon. Nothing like anything we've seen in the line before. And I think it's sort of one of those things that maybe doesn't get spoken about enough, but we've got a lot of cool stuff in the line so far. But some of the weapons and some of the accessories are really some of the highlights of this line, and I'm really, really excited, between this wave, between the Kickstarter waves, to see what else Jason and the design team can come up with weapon and accessory wise. All right, I'm going to get this guy posed up. I'm going to get some of these weapons in his hands and give my final thoughts. All right, this guy is awesome. I love this guy. He is a 10 out of 10. He's everything that I expected he would be and more. I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't even realize he was coming with the spear. I thought he just came with this, and I assumed, you know, he'd come with, you know, a reissue of one of the knives, just painted, you know, differently or something like that. But this spear is really, really cool. So this is definitely a figure that I would strongly recommend you guys add to your collection. If you're not doing the whole wave, you know, definitely this, and I think definitely the Horrid Mongrel. But you know, the other figures in this wave are pretty dope as well. So you know, I would say that this is not a wave that you want to sleep on. These are really, really good figures. These are really fun figures, and I think well worth getting a pre-order in. These will be shipping very, very soon from the Spero Toys website, sperotoys.com, as well as other online retailers. So if you haven't pre-ordered these already, I would say do yourself a favor and go get your pre-order in. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss future videos, hit that bell icon to get notifications. Until next time, bye-bye!